Welcome, everybody, to the Sacramento Spotlight Podcast, brought to you by Merrill Home Loans. I am your host, Josh Merrill, and I'm here with my two co-hosts, Chantel Hernandez and Anna Jacquez with Guide Real Estate. We want to thank you for joining us, and we're excited to have you, and we're excited to be here as well. We feeling pretty good here today? Another day?
Mm-hmm. Another Friday?
Another Friday? It is another Friday, yeah. Surprisingly, that's right. Mm-hmm. But thank you again for joining us, and we have a special guest in our studio, in our office here, Cristi Rodda, Farmers Insurance out of Sacramento. Thank you, Cristi, for being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm. But I guess it is, what episode are we on now? I guess we had it last time. We were on this.
No.
Is it 2000? Wow.
Number
I'm retiring tomorrow.
Yeah, this is the big two. You're our first guest.
Oh, great.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting.
Yeah, it's a big day. Yeah. So,
who do we bring on? Who is Cristi?
who is? Yeah, Cristi is a very important person around Sacramento. We've done actually a lot of business together.
Yes.
Cristi's my go-to for insurance. Her and Yuri, right? Her team has done a great job. And and when we got this podcast going, I thought, hey, we have some guests lined up, and Cristi was one of the first people I thought about because, you know, you're doing good things in the community and a great source of knowledge. We're going to find out some good stuff about you here, like we know, and so we're going to get to it, and you can be a good, unique perspective for a lot of people out there. So we thought, it's a win-win for everybody, and thank you for being here, you know.
Yeah, thank you.
We're
We're happy to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. And thanks for lunch. I think you got lunch catered in here.
It's
Jizzy
coming.
Mike's. Shout out Jizzy
for
Mike's,
us.
the Philly cheesesteaks. Right? We got the Philly cheesesteaks coming. But yeah, so Cristi actually went to UC Davis, pre-law, right? Degree, political science, and double minor, comparative literature and philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Smart.
by age 20 or 21, you're already smarter than I am now. I mean, that's really what that's my interpret. That's what I
Smart.
decipher and interpret from that. So, okay. But yeah, so now you've been doing insurance for maybe 17 to 20 years, right? At Farmers there, and you guys do a great job because I've been doing mortgages like 17 years, and I've worked with a lot of insurance agents and companies, and you guys are awesome. And it's nothing but the best for, like, I know myself and these ladies too. So like whoever we align with, we align for a reason, and it's service. It's for the customer, and it's awesome. But Cristi, go ahead and what got you in the business? What got you going way back when?
So I was pre-law since I was about 8 years old. That's what I wanted to do all my life, was pre-law. Actually, wills and trusts. I didn't want to litigate. I didn't want to get up in front of people. Here I am in front of a bunch of people, but I did not want to fight with people or, but I wanted to go into wills and trusts, which is taking care of people if the worst thing should happen. Mm-hmm. So my dad was a dentist, and he got sick my first year of law school. So I took up law school. I'm still technically a leave of absence. We'll see what they say about that. But I don't want anything, I don't want to go back to law school.
And that was at McGeorge, right?
McGeorge Law, yes.
Trusts,
wonderful,
wills, and estates.
wonderful school, yes.
Yeah.
Wills and trusts. But you got to learn all the stuff about law to get to where I was going.
Yeah.
So when my dad got sick, I helped him sell the business. And then I have a friend of the family, Barbara Harsh. She's a very long-time realtor in Sacramento area that was friends with my husband's family. And she told Steve Larson, who is my boss for, I think, 16 years before he passed away and I took over his business. But she said, Steve, you need to hire Cristi. I needed a house. I needed a job. And Steve went, sure. Barbara says, go, you go. Yeah. So I started out small and customer service, just answering phones. Didn't know what the heck I was doing with insurance. I'm pre-law. I just needed income so I could get my house. I ended up finding what I wanted in wills and trusts in insurance, because you take care of people. If the worst thing happens, you have, you protect them. I see insurance as like a shield in front of you. You pay for it, but you set how high you want your shield to be. And that protects you should something happen to your home. You work so hard for your assets, for your money, your income. Protect yourselves. For your life insurance, if something happens to my husband, how am I going to take care of my kids? So I found that niche from wills and trusts that I wanted to go into in insurance. And I just fell in love with it and loved the people, loved my clients. So I worked my way up Steve Larson's agency, and he's huge in the Sacramento. He was huge in the Sacramento Association of Realtors, just very giving and charitable. And when he got ill, we kind of looked across the table from each other, and he said, "Are we doing this?" I said, "All right," because I was already running the business. I was the office manager. I was producer, so I knew everything already. It's just taking that first step. So once we looked at each other and we're like, "Can I do this?" And he said, "Can you do this? Is this okay?" He was able to take care of his health. I took care of the business. So I bought it 2 years ago from him and took it over. I kept what I loved about what he did, what he set up, and then made stuff my own as well. Yeah. It's an all-female agency right now, and I love it. We've got strong, powerful women. We've got 8 people working in the office, 4 of which are Spanish-speaking, which is great for our Hispanic community, making sure they get representation and knowledge about insurance. So that's where it came from. It still ended up wanting to help people and protect what they've worked so hard for in life. So
That's
awesome.
here I am.
And with Steve Larson there, I know he was big and but his legacy is still here. You know, What did any kind of core values that he taught you that you're still applying today?
Generosity is huge. He was in the scholarship committee, which Judy Shore, I don't know if you know her, but she's like, "Cristi, come on." So they all kind of took me and said, "Cristi, follow Steve's footprints. Follow what their big shoes to fill." He was a 42-year farmer's agent.
Wow.
Long time. I have clients in my book of business right now that have been with us for 40 years in my agency. I love it. So yes, showing up for people. If someone needs help, just show up. If someone asks for a donation, give the donation. If someone needs you or needs help, show up. He taught me that. He taught me ethics, how to run the business. Just a stand-up guy, suit and tie every single day. And clients and associates, like other realtors, would kind of tease him for not wearing, he's out barbecuing.
Polo shirt at a golf event.
Yeah, he's no shirt. He wears suit and tie. And at the golf tournaments, he'd wear a short sleeve. He'd stand up sometimes. People would tease him suit and tie, but there's a respect level there that everybody really appreciated and loved about him. So.
So with farmers, okay, so you do home, you said you do life insurance, auto, I'm assuming. Am I missing one?
We do home, auto, toys. We do boats, umbrellas, motorcycles, recreational vehicles, earthquake, flood. In Natomas, you know flood. We're neighbors. So.
Yes.
And I just got my Medicare. I'm doing Medicare training to try and work on health insurance.
Oh, okay.
My goal is to be the go-to. If someone needs something that I can provide, I want to either do it for them and have the knowledge and experience to do it, or refer it out to someone trusted that I know and like Josh. I know him. I like him. I'm going to give business. I can't write loans, so what am I going to do? I'm not just going to throw them to the wolves. I'm going to say, "Have you met Josh?"
Yeah.
Great.
Here he is. Give a referral, not just, "Hey, call this person." I want to tell people about people I have contact with. A little bit about know them and trust them so you can give an honest, genuine referral.
Thank you. Yes. And actually, we do some online the social media videos, Instagram, right, and Facebook, but some of the questions I've got in the comments have been about trusts and wills. Somebody in their 20s, 30s, but what do you recommend for them to do for the people that are at any stage of life with the trust? People don't know about the trusts, right? And they're important until they really are important, right? You need to get them before you need one.
And I learned that lesson early. I was 21 years old. Both my parents passed. I learned I was probably the youngest person in the world to have a trust and a will because it's so important.
Wow.
So my quest has been to meet with attorneys. I don't get anything out of it, but my clients need help. If I talk to them and say, "You have assets, you need to protect them. If there's a car accident tomorrow, what are you going to do? You don't want to waste money in probate."
Can you explain that a little bit for, you know, if they don't understand what probate and trust are?
Yes. So what we did when they passed away, not luckily, but we had time to set up a trust. They didn't have a trust. 49-year-old dentist with no trust and hardly any life insurance.
Wow.
Me and my brother were going to school. We had no money, so we had about a year and a half to get the trust set up. A lot of people, if it's a car accident, they're gone. So what they do without a trust is, and I'm not an attorney, but what would have happened is they need to determine who the estate goes to. So my parents' house, assets, anything they have, cars, it's not set up in a trust. So the court now, it can take a year or two to get my parents' things that is, it goes to your heirs. So instead of going to court, all I had was their trust. It's a huge piece, huge book. I literally went to the bank, put the trust down on the table, and they said, no problem, here's what you need. I couldn't pay their mortgage. That's $2,300 a month. I wasn't working. I was going to law school full time. That trust made it so I had access to what I needed to take care of their home, sell their home, sell their business. And these are educated people that did not know. You think you're so young, nothing's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
Protect yourself young, protect yourself early, then you don't have to think about it anymore. So same with insurance. Get life insurance while you're young and healthy, not when you're 50 and start coming down with stuff. And lock it in early with the trust. Lock it in early when you're young, and then you don't have to think about it anymore.
That's great. And you are truly a great resource for everyone that crosses paths with you, because you have that. I mean, I'm sure if you're in the, the agent role and, you get a call and you're speaking with someone, you're able to identify, how you can help them in other ways. And that's pretty great that you can be a resource for, pretty much anything that they need.
Yes.
And you have a great story.
Yes. And it's real. It's
real.
It's there. I tell them, and people don't realize it until you go through it.
Yeah.
How real it is.
Yeah.
And yes, it costs a little bit of money, but take care of it and get it done.
Do you know the average cost for a trust for, maybe a single or a married couple?
Mine, a long time ago, I'm not going to age myself here, but a long time ago, mine was, I think, $1,500.
Okay.
Now they're probably $2,000, maybe
Okay.
$2,300.
Around there. Yeah.
Just depending if you have a more complicated estate, like if you have kids that need a disability trust or something, of course it might be more, but just a standard husband, wife, kids. It also helps who gets your kids if something happens. You got to keep it updated. You got to have it in writing. So a court, a lawyer doesn't just look at all this paperwork and decide who gets my kids. I don't think so.
Yeah.
It may not be my brother. It is my brother, but it may not be. If I don't get along with my brother, I don't want him with my kids, taking care of them. So you can set in your will who gets your kids should something happen to you, and how are you going to give them money, if you have life insurance set up. But that's where I like having, partners where I can meet with the wills and trusts attorney and make sure their life insurance matches what they want to happen. And it's a consultation.
Now, let's say there's a family that, doesn't have the $15,000 or the $2,000. Are there any programs that you know of that can help them get set up with the trust if needed?
I have never heard of that. It's kind of an extra thing for people who have assets to protect. If someone doesn't have enough to pay for it, they probably don't have enough assets to need a trust. But any homeowner, they should have that excess money or build up to it till they can. But I've not heard of supplements like that. But
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's important that it's constantly being updated when something changes in your family, just because people can just, fill it out, take care of it, put it together, and then just forget about it. And then, years down the road, there's more family members involved. And so that's...
Exactly.
Yeah, who gets the babies?
I know.
It's important. It is. I have family members that had my parents set up as who gets their kids, and I'm like, my parents have been passed away for 5 years. You need to switch it to me, or
Wow.
That you have to think about it.
Yeah.
One question I was thinking of, for the audience and for myself included, right? Like, we don't want to. It's. I think the crux of this, or the issue, the problem with the trusts and living trusts, wills, is having that conversation with the parents, or the parents having with the kid.
Yes.
Right. it's an uncomfortable, right? You're a kid. Hey, mom, dad, let's talk about your trust, your will.
Right.
You know what I mean? No, or they don't feel comfortable bringing it up to you, or they don't involve you, or do they involve you? But it's like, oh, here, hey, let's plan for the burial. Like, let's plan for these things, right? It's uncomfortable for. Because that's the audience, and that's me included. Like, I've hardly talked to my parents about that stuff, and I don't really want to, but it should. But it's like, ooh, it's painful, right? We humans avoid pain, right? Number one,
and discomfort.
And to talk about any kind of like passing type thing, situations, like, ooh, you know. But it needs to be. So, any advice to how to open up that conversation, like how to be, you know, get it out there so it's more common, right? So we don't feel so like I'm not trying to like I'm not. You know what I mean, right? That whole
not
thing.
trying to get anything.
Yeah, you're not trying to get anything. You just don't want to have the oh crap, and then like probate gets all the money, like they get all the fees and everything, where it's just a big old, you know.
That's one of the lead-ins.
That's the thing.
We are all going to pass away. We are. Do you want the government to get your money, or do you want your kids to get your money? That snaps people out of it.
Yep.
It's not morbid. It's not like you're gonna go, you know, you're gonna die. It's what do you want to happen? Should something happen? Do you want 20% of it to go to a lawyer? I don't. I didn't work these hours and this, you know, do what I do so my kids lose 20% of what I want to give to them.
Absolutely.
It's a choice.
It is. And I think for me, I recently actually had experience with my mom where I had been talking to her, you know, getting a trust set up. And it was just that, just breaking it down and just saying, hey, look, if we don't set this up, you know, do you want your family to be dealing with the government afterward, you know? So, but, and, you know, she recently was able to put that together, but a lot of people just, if you're not, they need to be told. So it's up to us to remind them and to, you know, let them know that there are, that they should have this put in place, because a lot of people, I mean, they just don't, they don't think about it. My mom didn't think about it all her life until recently, you know, so.
Why? Because her parents probably didn't die young.
Yeah.
With me, I have that experience, and I sit down and look them in the eye and say, look what happened to me. Would you want your kids to deal with what I had to deal with?
Right.
They're not going to say yes. So I have that relationship with them where I can look at them and say, hey, here's what happens if you don't do it right. It's okay. Everybody will be fine if it goes to probate. But is that really what you want?
Yeah.
Right. So for anyone, you know, anybody say even in the audience, right? Because you're inspiring. You really are. You know, from your education to your background, your real life, you know, things there. Like, what would you know, someone coming out of college or someone in a, you know, changing careers, thinking about getting into insurance, even law, right? You can testify to that. What kind of tips could you give them to, or they can ask themselves, am I a good fit for this? Am I a good fit for law, for insurance, for trust? Am I good with that?
Insurance is weird. We are selling promises and peace of mind. You have to love it and understand it and want to help people. It's not about money. It's not about you. And the same as wills and trusts. It's, do you have that personality for it? Yeah, you see hard salesmen out there, like used car salesmen. I am here to educate, consult, and teach them to make their own decisions. If someone walks out saying they don't want it, by all means go. But they need to have the patience for people. It's hard to start up an insurance business. I took over something I helped build. That helped me. Probably starting out as a fresh agent, not knowing people or having connections would be very hard. You have to have that go, you know,
Immerse
7
yourself in the
a.m. to
community.
10 p.m. at night. So fresh working out of college or high school even, you can be an insurance agent. Yes, you can do it. I'm in a little different position, taking over. I'm a builder. I build relationships. I love having people trust me enough to listen to what I have to say. So it's a little harder being a brand new insurance agent. Same as any business, real estate. You started real estate. You were with nothing. You have to cram those hours. So you have to have that patience and go get 'em attitude to start up any kind of business. But once you get it started, if you gain trust, have people like you, they will trust you. And then you have something to say and you grow on that. And that's when your business expands. You build loyalty, but it takes time. I took my base, and of course, we lost some clients due to attrition. Some people leave. So the first year in business, I was like, please don't leave me. Reaching out, calling. I was like a new agent doing that. I was reaching out, saying, it's still me. You guys remember me? And then my second year, so I'm almost done with my second year. Now I'm able to say, hey, what did Steve do? What am I going to do? What do I want to make out of this business, and how do I want to help people? So I'm doing different volunteer sessions, and a little different than Steve's. I was asked to join because they know me too and like me, but I'm making it my own as well. So for advice coming out for new people, kind of the same. It's running your own business. Are you able to do it? Do you have the income to do it? You have to be able to support yourself for the first quite a while. There's some subsidies you can get to get you started, but it's cold calling, it's marketing, it's meeting. It's hard, but the rewards at the end when you have people that you care for is definitely worth it.
Definitely.
Okay, so what is one movie that someone can watch to pump themselves up about doing insurance, or even say real estate or mortgage, or just, say sales in general? I got some in my head, but but what would you say a good movie is to be like, oh, well, that's a movie I can see, similarities, or just, hey, a pump up, motivational thing, or it's kind of random, but
Not even
or it could be Gladiator. It could just be a Gladiator movie. You're like, 360.
Just Gladiator's awesome.
Gladiator, okay.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, we both love Tombstone, but that's not a
Tombstone.
go-get
There we
up.
go. That's right. We talked about that. Yeah, I love Tombstone.
I am a total Marvel, Star Wars nerd. Disneyland, everything. I like to blame my kids, who's 10 and 5 years old. No, it's all me. I've been this way since I was a kid. But I love the Avengers, just the original Avengers movie. All of them coming from different places, and they have to work together no matter how different they are. And just the end when, it's so cool.
That's awesome.
I just love it. Yes.
And Disneyland, right? That's one of your spots.
I love
with the kiddos
Disneyland
the two
and
kiddos,
Pismo
the boys.
Beach.
And Pismo.
Like Bugs Bunny, Pismo
Yeah.
Beach.
Yeah.
Those are my two go-tos.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
okay.
I've always loved Disneyland.
It's been so long since I've been there.
It's
Disneyland?
changed. That's cool.
Yeah. It's changed a lot.
How long has it been? More than 10 years?
More than 10 years.
It's
yeah.
a totally different place, and it's awesome.
Wow.
Yes.
We're going to
They've
make a trip
changed
over
it.
there.
Yeah.
So at Pismo, where do you go at Pismo? Do you have a certain restaurant you like over there?
Oh,
I know
Splash
of one.
Cafe.
Oh, really?
Number one clam chowder.
Is that down
ever.
at the pier? The pier?
It's
over
right
there?
on the end of the pier.
Oh, it's
There's
right
a
there.
line wrapping around the building twice
Oh
to
my
get
Okay.
in.
gosh.
It's
Yeah.
just perfection.
Okay.
It is so good.
So
It's
that's the
Splash
spot. That's the
Cafe.
spot. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We used to go ride our dirt bikes and motorcycles out in Pismo Beach, right?
Oh, yeah. On the dunes?
The dunes,
Yes.
yeah, the dunes.
Yes.
And then growing up, we go out there too. But then we stop at Harry's restaurant. It's like a little bar grill or whatever, like live music.
Oh,
on the
great.
way back, like after, just out there trying to
Relax.
in the sand.
Yeah.
But Pismo is like, I hold it like when I was out there. Yeah, when I was super young and or younger or whatever. It's a cool spot.
And right around the mountain is a place. So the waves are great in Pismo Beach. It's a little cooler. You go around the mountain on the little north, and it's called Avila Beach.
Oh yeah, Avila.
Avila, so it's a little cove. So the sun comes out. It gets to be like 10 degrees warmer. So we're all freezing in Pismo, but we love it. You go around this little 2-lane road around and get out, and the sun is out. It's like Huntington Beach in LA.
Oh my
It
gosh.
is so great. Little
Yeah,
hidden.
Avila.
They're
They
starting
have
to build
concerts.
it up.
They have
but-
concerts out there
yes,
too. Yeah, I've
more
seen.
recently. Before it was, no one knew about it. It was our secret place.
Yeah.
But now it's building up, and
You
it's
told too many
gorgeous
people. That's
Yeah.
what
I know.
happened.
Shh, don't tell anyone.
Right. Well, no, we'll go over there. We'll put up a farmer's tent and then a Sacramento spotlight tent.
There we
we'll just
go.
like co-brand, like, hey, get them out there, get them
Throw the
go.
microphone.
Put some wills and trusts in front of them. Make them sign it. Give me your
It's
assets.
good for you.
You know?
That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. Well,
right.
going back to insurance, because I'm curious, what do you see? What are the biggest misconceptions that clients have about like their policies, like their home insurance? Because I know, like in real estate, I have clients sometimes they're assuming that like the their home warranty is going to cover more than it should. So what are kind of some things that you're seeing on a regular basis?
Often people are more focused on their deductible. I understand that. It's what you have to pay before your insurance kicks in if you have a loss or a claim. My philosophy is a deductible will give you a bad day. that $1,000 deductible if I have a kitchen fire. Oh my God, here's my credit card. My day is ruined. I not only have a kitchen fire, but now I have to shell out $1,000. But if you can raise your deductible to that high deductible, it lowers your premium so that you can afford to have the higher liability. Your liability to others does not have an end. There's no $1,000 deductible that ends at $1,000. With liability, if I hit a kid on a bike on my way out of here, there is no amount that can go. There's no limit to it. It goes. So your liability is what protects you. If you have an accident, that's what insurance is for. But if you have the money to bump your liability up by having a higher deductible, you can afford the higher liability to protect yourself if the worst case happens.
Yep. And I know,
Go
It
ahead.
saves money, and you put
Yeah.
that money towards more liability.
and I know there's some discounts and there's some tips and tricks that actually we
Yes.
can recommend the audience because we want to give them some nuggets and actually save some money. I know I did something on what you said. I'm like, okay, yeah, boom, real quick. So we're going to take a little break right now, and then when we come back, we're going to get to those tips and tricks that are actually going to save you guys money. So you better come back, okay? And thank you. Thank you, guys. All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us again here. And again, we have Cristi Rodda here, Farmers Insurance in Sacramento. And as we promised, okay, we're going to get into some tips and tricks that you can check with your insurance company to see if you can qualify for some discounts here and there, and just some other good nuggets of knowledge here from Cristi. So, Cristi, what's kind of some things here our audience can do to save some money?
So first of all, I was going to give a tip. So first of all, we're going into the fire season.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's not stopping. As we've all heard in the news, there's fire line issues. I just want to get out there to all the realtors, lenders, new home buyers, additional home buyers. Get your quote early and often. Your insurance company will tell you if they need the California Fair Plan. That used to be last resort insurance. Someone whose roof's falling in still need insurance. We used to go through the Fair Plan. Now, because of kind of the crisis we're in right now in the insurance industry, they have made all their systems so much better. We can now get a hold of someone on the phone. Their billing system works. They really stepped up. I'm actually really proud of how insurance did it. I know it's frustrating for people trying to get quotes and on the outside, but internally, insurance companies have really done a lot of work to get people to not non-renew, to have a place for them, especially people who are already there. You know, if you're moving into a place, you can say, no, I don't want it. People are already in these communities that their rates either skyrocketed or they've been non-renewed. So insurance companies have used technology now where they do house-to-house evaluations using
Right.
satellites. So it's not
And
blanket
what about
zip
the brush?
code.
What about the distance of the brush?
They look at
from
all
they'll
that.
look at that,
But
right?
it's more
'Cause you wanna
house to
clear
house.
House to house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where before it's like panic, all these zip codes is gone.
Yeah.
And there's people in concrete jungles who are like, it's not going to get me.
So
I'm
what
not
do
in
you
this forest.
what do you recommend? Because
Yeah.
you know, with the disasters happening, you'd hear all these horror stories of insurance policies not covering. What do you think was the error? What was a mistake? What could somebody do to make sure they are covered, or what is important to understand? Because people get the policy and they don't really understand. I mean, I look at a policy and I don't know what I'm looking at. So what do you think went wrong, or what do you recommend?
Before it became a crisis,
Yeah, or
people just weren't
moving-
paying attention. They didn't have an agent. They didn't review it. Nobody wants to talk about insurance.
Right.
You don't want to go to the
Yeah.
dentist. You don't want to talk about insurance either.
Yeah.
I come from those two
Yeah,
backgrounds.
I have a house, and I don't
you
even
know,
know what's on the insurance.
Right?
I
No
don't.
one
Like,
knows.
we're gonna review it together.
No,
Actually,
yes.
you have
Yeah.
to know what. That's what we're
Find
doing.
someone so they'll educate you so you're not stuck like a lot
Yeah.
of those people in Paradise thinking, I don't have a
Yeah.
mortgage. I don't need fire insurance. You don't need fire insurance until you have a fire.
Right.
Then guess what? You don't have it. It has nothing to do with the mortgage company.
Yeah.
You either want to get it or you don't. It's no longer required to have fire insurance, but you should have it.
Yeah.
So, what What was the question?
Well,
again?
that was
Sorry.
the discount, any kind of discounts
yes.
also won't go into that.
Review the policy, get the quotes early, educate. I'm gonna teach you once a year. We reach out to our clients and say, hey, let's review your policy. Have there been any
That's awesome.
changes?
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
added on to your home and not told us? That affects replacement cost. Do you have any kids living in the home or drivers living in the home that need to be covered? Have an annual review with someone that you like and trust so that they will educate you. So you're not just relying on us. You know what to look for. You're going to forget in a year, but you at least have that base knowledge of, yes, I have insurance, number one. Number two, am I covered the way I think I am? There's people that think they're covered. There's a coverage called replacement cost on your policy. It costs a little bit more money. You have to select the button, though. If you don't have it, all of your stuff is depreciated, meaning garage sale
Okay,
price if there's a fire.
Oh, wow.
Your agent might cut that to cut costs. Everybody say premium, but there's often a reason the premiums are low. Be careful. Get someone you
Yeah.
trust who will do it with you, who will go over that with you. Make sure you have it. That's something all my staff is trained to do.
Yeah.
We look at it, we advise.
And there was the discount for 55.
Yes.
That one right there, everything else?
So that's on the car insurance.
For the car? Okay.
So with the fire line, I just wanted to say, get the quote early in the process. So
Yeah.
the buyer knows what to expect and you know what to expect as professionals.
Perfect.
Right. And I guess, are they all going to the CAL FIRE?
They're not all.
They're not all going
In
to
fact,
that.
they're loosening up a little bit
They're
right
loosening-
now.
okay.
Because it's house to house. So we had one across the street from the other one, but because they didn't do some improvements or, this has more, less brush than this area,
Right.
they're now pinning it down to house, which is great for us.
That
It's
is
not
great.
just, we're non-renewing and we never farmers never non-renewed without having an option.
Okay.
But some were, so we got clients from those companies that just said, nope, we're out. They pull out of California
They
completely.
do, yeah.
And, good for us, but those clients were horrified.
Yeah.
And it gave insurance a really bad name.
And that's the thing. So yeah, Farmers does cover, because I know a lot of companies, they don't, and they have to use the higher third-party insurance companies for
Yes.
the fire. So that's a big.
And sometimes
thing.
we have to go there.
Right.
So that's why check with us or whoever you
First,
use first. We plug in the address, and the company we plug the address into tells us how high of a fire risk it is. And then farmers, in my case, will say, yes, farmers will take it, no fair plan. Okay, it's a higher level. So farmers can do everything but the fire insurance, and the fire insurance portion has to go to the fair plan.
Okay.
So we help you guys, and sometimes we can go look at other options too. We don't want the fair plan. The fair plan's expensive. It's not as good of a policy, but it is there so people are not uninsured. So we try everything we can before we get there, including a sister company that we use. So we always try those steps before the fair plan. But if it does have to go fair plan, be ready for it. Advise your clients about it, because that might affect the loan too, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
they
it's
get
a-
expensive.
It can. I've written one for $8,500 a year, and they were happy to get it.
Wow.
Yeah, because there is that whole quandary here that every buyer has. They're like, I want the lowest premium, but I want, but of
At
course
what
you want
cost?
it goes back to our conversation on trusts
Yeah.
and wills. It's like you want the lowest, or you don't want to go there because it's painful to talk about those things, but it is what's necessary. That's what's prudent. It's what you should do, because you don't want to have the pain of having to go into probate or having to go, fix your house, a house not covered. Now you're out 100, 200 grand. You can't afford it. Got to sell, or just got to bail completely. So that's important. And how do you think? So other, so we got to squeeze you as much as we can here. Any other discounts? Any other? If they, if they have to. Well, let me say, for the audience, what if they want to call their insurance companies right now, after this podcast? What questions can they ask to make sure that their premium is the lowest possible, right? Or
Yes.
that they're covered, they want to be covered on A, B, or C.
Right.
What's those questions they can, the 55 and older discount right there, or anything that they can ask either to reduce their premium, or coverages they might want to have that might increase their premium, but it is proper, it is prudent to have it.
Or we look at coverage they don't need. There's some coverages.
Exactly, right.
You don't need rental car on your cars if you have an extra vehicle.
Yeah.
Why would
exactly,
you
yeah.
pay
Right.
every 6 months
So that's
when
one
you
right
have
there.
a spare car sitting in your driveway?
Mhm.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
See
And the
that
miles,
out.
actually, we talked,
Very
right?
true.
The
Mileage,
miles,
yeah.
like meaning 15,000, 8,000. A lot of us now are working from home,
Yep.
so we're not driving as much. So call them up and say, hey, I'm
Yes.
at 7,000 now. I'm at 2,000. You know what I mean? I don't have a car. I gotta get my car.
We have people saying I drive 500 miles a year.
Right.
But someone retired at home or working from home full time should not
Right.
be paying my rates. I am on. So they went from blanketing by zip code again for car insurance rates to who's actually on the road. The more you're on the road, the more likely you're going to be
High
in an
risk you
accident,
are.
right? I'm all over. I'm here in Roseville today. I drive Southland Park. I drive to Natomas. I'm all over. My rate should be higher than someone who works from home or a retired person. Check it out. See if you're still pre-COVID annual miles. If you're not commuting every day, you're probably not over 13,000. You're probably more like 8. And that affects your rate substantially because you are less of a risk than I am on the road. Realtors are still out
We're
and
still
about.
We're still high risk.
Still a bit high risk, as am I. But if you're a realtor working from home, lower that down. Now is the time to lower it. Make it right, because people don't think about how their rates are made, and that's exactly one of the biggest factors that we use.
So if somebody in our audience calls you and you get business from the say this episode, can I get a discount on for my boat insurance? Or like, can we get a little discount? An extra boat? I mean, the boat is getting kind of expensive, right? Gas is going up. So.
I will bring you cookies and thank you.
All right. No, you got to come out on the boat with it. You got to come out on the boat.
Cookies.
We're going.
We're going boating.
Episode 3 is from the boat. Actually, that's like a little
There
sneak
you go.
peek, little preview. Like, oh, so yeah. But anything else you want to add? Anything else here? Because
Yes.
this is
So
good nuggets.
Yeah, when you go in for a review with your agent, check occupational discounts. So when we meet with a client, I always double check, are you still doing this? Or if it's not in my system, what do you do for occupation? It not only builds rapport and, I want to get to know people, but there's discounts for teachers, realtors,
Veterans, probably,
not veterans
I
in
know.
California. I wish
yeah.
other states do. I don't know why not California. I wish they did, but veterinarians do.
Veterinarians,
so
yeah.
doctors, dentists. So ask about that. See if there's a professional discount.
Yeah.
We don't stop at what's your occupation. Because if you ask my husband, Tim, what's your occupation? He'll say, I work for the state of California. Discount for state workers? No. I train my staff to say, do you have any degrees or licenses?
Oh, that's right.
I'll go,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I have a degree in information technology. Guess what? I just saved 15% off my home and 2 cars.
Wow.
For having a
He's
degree.
IT. It's a scientist
And
discount.
That's great.
It's
Wow.
the weirdest degree.
What if you have a
soaking wet.
minor as well? Because
No minor.
Chantel has a minor in communications.
Do minors
and,
count
yeah. You're a
Only
double minor.
specific ones. Only, so
Ah,
political
wow.
science does not give me a science discount.
Okay. Oh man.
But Tim's computer science does.
Mm-hmm.
So
We're
certain
a
discounts.
business. Do we get a business discount?
Yeah, I think that could be.
Real
No,
estate
I-
does. Real estate does. Not lenders right now.
Wow. Well, I have my
Yeah.
real estate, my broker license. I could do real
Yes.
estate.
Yes.
So hey, there we
Just-
go.
there you go. There you
Trying to
go.
get that discount.
Get it.
For real estate agents, make sure on your car insurance it's rated for business use, especially for taking clients in your car. You want to make sure your claims are covered if something happens. If you drive around with, people looking at houses, ask your agent, am I covered to drive for business on my car?
I haven't
That's
had
a
this
tip
happen in my
for
car.
we see a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if I. Yeah, that's a
So
great one.
check it
Thank
out.
you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Check it out. So that's occupations. There's a mature driver discount, 10% off your primary car. If you pay $15 and it's all online now, thank you, COVID, the one good thing that ever comes out of this thing. You can do it online for $15 and you save 10% if you're 55 and older without 2 infractions. So you have to have a you could have 1 ticket, but fairly clean record. But that saves you 10% for 3 years for $15. So that's when I always check the birth dates before people
Yeah.
come in and
Nice.
make sure. Packaging discounts are huge, bundling. So we have a 25% discount off the home, 15 off each car. So try and get it together if you can in one place. It doesn't always work out that way, and that's fine, but we just let people know, hey, it's there if you want to switch bundles.
That's
There's like umbrella discounts, earthquake. If you have earthquake with us, there's a discount. So just ask your insurance person, what discounts are there? Not only what discounts you're getting, but what discounts you're not getting is important. What coverages don't you have? Do you have a single car and need rental car coverage? Go in and do a thorough review with them and have them go over it and make sure you're getting what you think
inspired.
you have.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go make
So
sure.
could you
We'll make
get,
our calls. Huh? Yeah, we gotta make sure we're good.
so could you get me out of a speeding ticket with your law background? Right? Could you do that? You said you do everything. Come on now. Hey.
If you get a speeding ticket and it's your only speeding ticket and they offer you a class to get rid of it, get rid of it. Pay whatever you need to do to get that ticket off. Because if you get a second one or an accident that's your fault, you not only get charged for a ticket and an accident, but you lose your good driver discount. That's a state discount. That's 35%.
Wow.
So if you can get rid of whatever first ding you have in 3 years, and it's a 3-year term. So you're like, oh, I don't want to go to traffic school. I'm not going to get rid of that one ticket. You have 3 more years to be perfectly clear, or else you lose that good driver, even if it's just a stop sign, turn on
Yeah.
red ticket.
Yep.
So if you have a chance to take the course for traffic school to get rid of a ticket, please do.
I wonder if mine went down the first time I had it.
I don't know.
Because I did take that class.
You did,
I did
huh?
take
Okay.
that class to clear it,
Good.
but I don't remember that my insurance went down. But
Did
that's
it go
a long
up?
time ago.
Or did it go up?
It
or-
probably
I mean-
stopped it from going up
Okay, maybe that's what it
if
was.
you catch it in time, because they only charge it on renewal. So hopefully you can clear it before the
Yeah.
renewal comes up.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Oh, this is great.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Cristi. Well, yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for stopping in, and thanks for lunch. We have that coming up right here, right?
You're
We got,
welcome. It's
I'm
coming.
ready. Next.
we're
Ready.
cool about that. Hey, but yeah. So Cristi, Rodda, Farmers Insurance. Can anybody reach out if they want to get a hold of you in our audience? How do they reach out?
Just give us
Prefer-
a call, send me an email. I check my emails a little too often. I'm a little obsessed, but even if I get an email, I'll respond.
What's
even
the?
at
Can you tell them the address, or do you? Would you
my email is crodda, R-O-D as in David, D as in David, A, at farmersagent.com.
okay, sounds good.
That'll get to me, and then Yuri is licensed and wonderful, speaks Spanish. She takes care of our
Yeah.
referrals or directly through me, whatever works for you guys.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for joining
Thank
us here. We
you.
appreciate it. And we're about to wrap things up.
Great.
All right.
Awesome.
And thank you guys for tuning in, audience. Thank you very much. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we definitely want your feedback as always. Email us at sacramentospotlight@gmail.com, and like, subscribe, follow. Follow. It is our second episode here, so we're on a roll. We're on a roll. So thank you guys for tuning in. Alrighty.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.